Why was everyone so worried about Jolene?
It was out of character for her just to disappear.
Around the time she had gotten off work, there was no contact with anybody, no activity after that whatsoever.
As an investigator, these type of situations do raise a lot of red flags.
I would say at that point in time, he was the number one suspect.
I care about him.
What were you thinking when you saw the video?
It was kind of one of those aha moments in the case.
Hi, I'm Nancy O'Dell. Today's Crime Exposé takes us to Fernandina Beach, Florida. Located on Amelia Island, the area is known for its peaceful and serene living. But when a young mother suddenly vanished into thin air, the city became the center of one of the most bizarre investigations anyone had ever seen. It was Monday, May 14th, when the mother of 34-year-old Jolene Cummings walked into the Nassau County Sheriff's Office to report her daughter missing. She hadn't spoken with Jolene in a few days, and no one could get in touch with her.
It was very unusual for her not to pick up a phone if she was called, to answer text.
Jolene's mother said the last time they spoke was on Friday, when they talked about their plans together for the upcoming weekend. Sunday was a special day for both of them. What was Jolene celebrating that weekend?
It was both Mother's Day and her birthday, and she was very much looking forward to spending time with her kids that weekend.
Jolene's mom said she first began to worry when she learned Jolene had never picked up her kids from her estranged husband's home.
When she failed to show for that meeting, her estranged husband took their children to her mother's house, and that's really when her mother got concerned.
And then, when Jolene didn't show up to her own birthday party and Mother's Day dinner, her mother's gut told her something was terribly wrong.
It was out of character for her just to disappear.
Everyone agreed it seemed odd, and the sheriff's department launched an investigation.
I just obtained as much information as I could. What kind of vehicle she was driving, any kind of bank account information, any social media.
Detectives also wanted to try to pinpoint the last time anyone saw or heard from Jolene. Police learned that she was a hairstylist and had worked on Saturday the 12th.
She was working her regular shift at Tangle Salon and supposed to close around 5, 6 o'clock that day.
Detectives went to the salon and interviewed people there. They all said Jolene had been in a happy mood the last time they saw her. She had closed up with a co-worker named Jennifer Seibert. Sergeant Harrington called her.
Before I even got a chance to try to explain myself or explain any further about Jolene being reported missing, she went into a long explanation about how she could not be involved in a police investigation.
He thought it was odd, but not out of the norm in his line of work.
It's certainly not unusual for me to find people who do not like to deal with police officers. Some people just don't want to be a part of the investigation.
The sergeant moved on. He learned that Jolene's SUV was gone too. It wasn't in the salon's parking lot. Police created a flyer and asked the public for help in finding her.
So the sheriff's office put out BOLOs, which is be on the lookout for Jolene's vehicle and for anyone who had any information or had talked to Jolene.
We released that both on the sheriff's office website and to all the local media and news outlets.
Jolene's disappearance made no sense, and when her cell phone and financial records came back, the mystery deepened. So when was the last time that you found activity on Jolene's accounts?
It was just immediately around the time that she had gotten off work on that Saturday afternoon. There was no contact with anybody, no activity after that whatsoever.
Sergeant Harrington went to Jolene's home to see if he could get any clues from there. Her parents had the key and let him inside. What he discovered was troubling. So what did you see when you walked in the home?
When I went into Jolene's home, I noticed that there was quite a bit of disarray in the home. There was damage to the walls. It looked like somebody had punched holes in the sheetrock. There were cabinet doors that were hanging by one hinge.
Sergeant Harrington wondered if Jolene had made it home, only for something to have happened to her there.
Caused me quite a bit of concern because it looked like there had been a violent incident in the house. I didn't see any type of blood or anything, but there had definitely been a lot of damage and vandalism to the home.
Detectives quickly turned their attention to Jolene's estranged husband, Jason Cummings.
It was not a easy divorce. There were some problems. There was some custody issues.
As an investigator, these type of situations do raise a lot of red flags.
Police wondered if a fight over custody of their kids could have led to something more sinister. Detectives investigating the disappearance of Jolene Cummings brought her estranged husband, Jason Cummings, in for an interview. He admitted that things hadn't been great between them, but he said he would never hurt her.
That's my kid's mom.
You've heard all the before, but I'm telling you right now. I'm probably a man sitting in front of you that you've never seen before, because what I do take serious is my family.
Jason said that despite all their issues, Jolene was a great parent, and he was worried about her. He gave police a detailed timeline for Saturday into Sunday and agreed to let investigators search his car. So did you find anything in the car that connected Jason to Jolene's disappearance?
There was no blood, no hair, anything that was suspicious in nature. And when we checked out his alibi, we were able to confirm that he was where he said he was for the weekend.
Jason was eliminated as a suspect. Before he left the interview room, he asked Sergeant Harrington if police had spoken with a new man in Jolene's life.
I got the text message from other people saying he's bad news.
The guy Jolene had been dating was named Jason G. And not only did he have a criminal record, but he was currently wanted by police for a parole violation. And there was more. Not one, but two women had restraining orders against him for domestic violence. And as it turned out, Jolene had her issues with him as well.
There had been a recent domestic incident between her and her boyfriend at the house.
Sergeant Harrington found a report filed just 3 days before Jolene disappeared. The report explained the damage he had seen at Jolene's house. The couple had gotten into an argument, and G turned violent.
He became very upset and started breaking the cabinets in the home and punching the walls.
So I'm sure you were worried then that if Jason had been involved in Jolene's disappearance, that she might be in harm's way.
Obviously, this is a person with a temper. This is someone that probably has the capacity to do violence.
And to make matters worse, when investigators went to speak with G, it appeared as if he had taken off.
I would say at that point in time, he was the number one suspect.
It was an all-hands-on-deck to find G, and eventually one of his own friends gave up his location and police moved in.
He did not go peacefully, so to speak. He didn't fight, but once law enforcement realized he was in the home, they had to go in and bring him out, and he was found hiding underneath a bunch of cardboard boxes in one of the bedrooms of the home.
He was arrested for the probation violation and taken to the sheriff's office for an interview. G insisted he hadn't been in hiding because he did something to Jolene. He said it was because he knew there was a warrant for his arrest, and he didn't want to go back to jail.
I don't know where she's at, man. But I care about her. She is one of the main things in my life that makes me even want to fucking be able to be here. I love her. I honestly love her. I would never hurt her.
Investigators were still suspicious, but they had nothing to prove Jolene had even been the victim of a crime. Then, just 2 days later, someone reported finding an SUV that they believed belonged to Jolene Cummings. What happened next would change the course of the investigation. After days of searching for Jolene Cummings, a man called the sheriff's office and said he believed he saw her SUV in a Home Depot parking lot just 2 miles from Tangle's salon.
The sheriff's office went to a parking lot at Home Depot and confirmed that that was Jolene's vehicle.
There was no sign of the 34-year-old and nothing in the SUV that could lead police to her. But detectives noticed there was a surveillance camera from a nearby bank facing the parking lot. They pulled the footage and saw Jolene's SUV being driven into the lot at 1:17 a.m. on May 13th.
Which would have been Sunday morning after she worked on Saturday. We were able to see the vehicle being parked where we found it, and we were able to see just one person exit the vehicle.
The video was too grainy to identify anyone, but detectives could see that the person was dressed in all black clothing.
We could also tell just by the stature of the person that it did not appear to be Jolene.
As the person walked away, investigators knew that there was only one business in that direction that would have been open at that hour, the local gas station and mini-mart, which also had surveillance cameras.
When I looked at the security video, it was kind of one of those aha moments.
The person in all black was Jolene's co-worker, Jennifer Seibert, the one who didn't want to speak with police. What was the reaction when everybody saw who it was?
We were shocked that it was one of her co-workers. That was not the person that we were thinking may have been involved with her disappearance.
Not only could they see Seibert on camera, as they looked closer, it appeared as if she had been in a fight.
She had injuries to her face, including underneath one of her eyes, what looked like a large fingernail scratch. And at that point in time, I was thinking this may be a homicide investigation, not just a missing person.
Detectives were now on the hunt for Jennifer Seibert, but finding her wasn't going to be easy. The salon employee said she never came back to work, and when investigators went to the home she listed on her job application, they discovered she had told another lie.
I went to that address in Fernandina Beach, and not only was she not there, that address was non-existent.
As they continued to search for her, Sergeant Harrington sent a crime scene unit to do a forensic examination of the salon, using luminol to see if there was any blood evidence not visible to the naked eye. And what did they find?
The entire salon more or less just lit up like a Christmas tree. There was blood on the floors, there was blood on the wall. You could physically see in some areas what looked like somebody who used a mop to clean up.
The amount of blood discovered led Sergeant Harrington to a heartbreaking conclusion.
There was no doubt in my mind that not only was I working a homicide, but that Tango Salon was where the homicide occurred.
As everyone tried to process that reality, Jennifer Seibert's phone was tracked to a nearby rest stop. She was inside her car, and when she came out, detectives noticed the obvious injuries to her face. Once again, she tried to deflect when asked about Jolene.
Jennifer had made the statement to me that her and Jolene were not close, that they weren't friends, they would only work together a short period of time. So I replied to her, so have you ever been in her vehicle? Have you ever driven her vehicle? And she said, no. Like I told you, we're not close.
The surveillance video proved she was lying, and the sergeant knew he needed to get her into custody before she either fled or hurt anyone else. He arrested her for grand theft auto for being in possession of Jolene's SUV without her permission. Jolene's car was searched, and inside, investigators found evidence that tied Jennifer to Jolene's murder.
There was a kit that a hairdresser would have with scissors in it. When you took a close look at the scissors, if you looked at where the two pieces of the scissors are held together with a screw, there was a Phillips head screw there, and in the very head of the screw, there was some dark color substance. We tested that substance, and not only did it come back to be blood, it come back to be Jolene's blood.
But that wasn't all.
And probably the most chilling thing was a Walmart receipt from Fernandina Beach that had some items that were obviously not just used for cleanup, but also likely used to dismember Jolene's body.
Investigators discovered surveillance video from a dumpster behind Tangle's salon on May the 12th, which they believed showed what happened to Jolene's body.
And we were also able to observe Jennifer Seibert taking several bags, very, very heavy bags, out to the dumpster, And it wasn't just once, it was several times all throughout the night she was doing this.
Jennifer Seibert was charged with the murder of Jolene Cummings. Investigators now knew the who, but no one could understand the why. That is, until they sat down to interview her and she dropped a bombshell that no one could have ever predicted.
She told me, well, I might as well go ahead and tell you because when you run my fingerprints, you're going to know. She said, my name is not Jennifer Seibert. My name is Kimberly Kessler.
It turned out Kimberly Kessler was a missing person from Butler, Pennsylvania, and she had spent most of her adult life living under false identities.
I was born in May of 1968, May 9th. I am 50 years old. I've been running from the FBI for over 25 years. I've been living under this particular alias since 1999.
It was a real-life version of the movie Catch Me If You Can. Kimberly Kessler had gone from one alias to the next, proud of how she had hidden her true identity for so long.
Are you going to write a book one day?
I don't even know if anyone will believe it. But the FBI has a record, so you know it's true, okay? Look it up. It sounds like a bunch of crap. Look it up. They have a record. It's true.
It quickly became clear to detectives that the only thing that really mattered to Kessler was leading this secret life.
I believe she enjoyed knowing that she was able to fool everybody throughout the years, that she was smarter than everybody else.
But there was one person who wasn't fooled. Detectives learned about a conversation Jolene had the day before she was murdered.
She had called Kimberly Kessler out and said, you're not who you say you are. You're fake. I'm going to find out who you are.
Investigators believe Kessler was so afraid of Jolene learning her true identity that she murdered her in cold blood. Kimberly Kessler was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Now it is time for today's Safety Spotlight. The key to preventing workplace violence is to recognize the warning signs and involve the appropriate resources as soon as possible. Timely notification and documentation of potential problems is essential. In confrontational situations, it is important to prioritize your safety over the need to win an argument. De-escalate, remove yourself from the situation. Pay attention to your intuition about people and environments. If a situation feels unsafe, it is best to withdraw and seek a safer environment. The Workplace Violence Prevention Hotline can be reached at 1-877-987-3747. I'm Nancy O'Dell. For all of us here at Crime Exposé, please join us next time and stay safe.